Welcome everyone to Green Talk by Green Care Solutions. I'm your host, Yanitza Munoz. Green Talk is on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and here on KCAA NBC Radio. Today, we have an amazing guest. We have the rapper and CEO of Cookies brand, Berner, today. And I also want to let you guys know we have Brian back. He's our co-host. He was super busy at Green Care Solutions, but hey, thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, it's glad to be back. I think it's been maybe 2 months or whatever, but I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, you're subbing in for Angela today.
Absolutely. We do what we got to do over here at Green Care Solutions. Well, my name is Brian, and I actually work for Green Care Solutions. Today, we're going to be talking about Berner's amazing career in cannabis and music. Green Talk is actually a pop culture and educational cannabis show. You must be 21 years of age to listen. We are not doctors, but Green Care Solutions has doctors for you. So give us a call at 951-609-4071. We are a 13-time award-winning company. We've been featured on Forbes, Yahoo Finance, and recently on USA Today.
Yes, I know. We've been killing it with those publications now, huh?
Absolutely. Keep growing. Welcome to the show, Berner.
Thank you, Berner. Yes, I know you're busy. I know people keep blowing up your phone right now. And hey, what can I say? You're an entrepreneur. It's normal, right? It's like you own a business that's a successful business.
Yeah, I'm out in the middle of nowhere too, so everyone's trying to find me. So they're just calling. So my apologies if it cuts out again.
It's okay, no problem. So earlier you mentioned that you were in Montana right now.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I hope you're enjoying your vacation. Thank you for taking the time to be on this show. So everyone that's listening, Berner is the founder of Cookies. So Cookies is a dispensary, very popular dispensary, especially here in California.
Yep, clothing brand, all that good stuff.
Yes. So Berner, we want to get straight to the main part of why you created Cookies.
Yeah, I just been passionate about cannabis for a long time and started working in the medical marijuana industry when I was 18, as soon as I was able to, and just built from there, from the ground up. The reason why I started Cookies was I noticed back when I was in the game, there was no real brands out there, no branding, no one was building anything for what we have now, which is, close to federal legalization. So I just kind of saw opportunity and just started to stick with it and just keep moving with it.
And when did you actually start Cookies?
Man, I smoke a little bit too much sometimes. I started Cookies probably in maybe 2009. I want to say 2008, 2009.
Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting because, cannabis has been recreationally legal in California, and then recently recreationally legal, but before it was only for medicinal use, right?
I think since 96.
Since 96. So you have all these people that, like yourself and others, who are doing it medicinally, and now when they're opening it to other companies, it's kind of like this whole gold rush effect happened, but not everybody was able to really do it proper. So I respect the fact that you're able to do it proper, but it's always so difficult owning a dispensary, right? What are some of the difficulties you come across?
Well, for me, like I said, I've been doing it for a long time. So when it came time to start owning our own retail chain, I was pretty experienced with everything that someone may run into, problems. But, banking is an issue. Security is kind of like a gray area. I think our biggest problem today is just getting enough product. Now the way the laws are, back in the medical days, someone could just pull up with some pounds and you could buy it and put it right on the shelf. But now the process of having to buy it prepackaged and put it in, through distro and metric and all that shit just kind of slows the process of getting flour on the shelf. So I think just trying to keep product for as many stores as we have is the biggest challenge I have, I think.
Because that was one of your first jobs when you got into the medical industry, was being able to supply your dispensary, right?
Yeah, I started out as kind of like the person that checked in people and called the doctor and made sure their rec was legit, then moved over to cashier, then to buyer, then manager. So, I used to be the guy that would buy. If you were to bring in weed, I would decide if I wanted to buy it, what I'd pay for it, and what I wanted to name it, and I'd put it on the shelf just right away in the jar and get it cracking, sell it deli style out the big jar. So things have changed a lot.
Yeah, because everything's tracked and traced now, and you got to see where you got it from what manufacturer. And I'm sure as much volume as you guys do in your stores, I know it's very hard to probably keep you guys' shelf stocked, right?
It's pain in the ass.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I figure that because they don't make it easy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You've also created like different strands, like flavors, like gelato was one.
I think Girl Scout cookie was your
That
original, right?
Yeah, we came out with the Girl Scout cookies. Before that, it was cherry pie, the cherry kush, and everything kind of evolved from there. Shout out to Mr. Shabinsky. We partnered with him and did the sherbet and gelato. But if you go look at my Instagram, we're constantly evolving our menu and breeding with a bunch of different stuff and just trying to keep that menu going. That's what keeps the brand going, is an evolving menu.
I 100% agree with that, because your menu is, I think, is something that makes you so different from other dispensaries, because other dispensaries probably now like trying to copy you maybe, but you really came out with like a menu, and I think that's what made your business thrive so well, because people were so intrigued with, oh, I want the gelato, or I want the Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I mean, a lot of cannabis smokers, they're always evolving. They always want something different after every so often, no matter how good that strain is. So how do you determine, Berner, what strains you want to keep on deck, rather than saying, you know what, this is enough, this ran its course, let's move something else? Like, what determines that? Just volume sales, or?
It sounds a little selfish, but if I still want to smoke it, I still want to sell it. So
hey,
once I kind of get burnt out on it, if I get burnt out on it, then I'll be like, man, well, I'm kind of burnt out on it. Maybe we should run something else or put something else in production. So kind of like, I just kind of go off what I like, and I feel like I have a pretty good taste, you know? So certain things like London pound cake and Gary Payton and cereal milk and cookies and things like that, they're going to be staples in our menu. And then there's things that we've tried that will run its course, and then we'll be like, let's phase it out and ramp something else up. But once you start breeding and you start having like a menu that continues like that, it's hard to keep everything in production, you know? So.
Nice.
Yeah, no, most definitely. What is your thoughts about like counterfeit products? Because, you know, before the pandemic, there was so much news about like counterfeit vapes, and then everybody was like, all vaping's bad. Maybe CBD could be bad. Maybe hemp could be bad. Maybe THC. Like, everyone was kind of freaking out for a bit in the media. And when you are a connoisseur, educated in the field, you kind of understand that there are unfortunately counterfeit products that are purchased out of like people's cars or from a friend of a friend. What advice do you give people to like stay away from counterfeit products?
I mean, it's just like common sense. I mean, if you're going to buy something on the street, then you should expect something on the street. I mean, you wouldn't buy Tylenol from some random dude on the street. You wouldn't go buy a Louis bag from someone on the street. If you buy a Louis bag, there's a 50% chance it could be fake. So, you know, if you want to buy something authentic, then go to original stores like a store. If you really don't care and you're kind of in for the hype, you know, don't be upset if you get played. Mm-hmm. And I urge people to be cautious when buying like vape pens, and you don't know what the hell they're putting in that shit. If it's on the street, it's not tested. I'm not trying to knock anyone's hustle, but, you know, there was a lot of side pens and stuff like that. So, you know, just if you're going to buy something, you know, from someone random, then just expect some random, you know, possibilities when you use it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, most definitely. So yeah, because of that, we were noticing like, unfortunately, kids were, maybe because they couldn't afford the cannabis, because like, let's say a Stizzy pen is like $80, or, you know, or even just flour, a good flour is expensive. So kids would maybe cut corners, and I get it, because sometimes if you're a college kid, you can't afford maybe all the goodies, right?
And the cannabis tax, all that good stuff. Yep.
Yeah, so everyone listening, you heard it from Berner himself, like, maybe save a little bit more and get the proper stuff, because there could be health issues. I mean, people are putting crazy things in these counterfeit vape pens.
Yeah, all the cutting agents and all that stuff. It's like, I mean,
even flour too. Like, I've seen someone post a video the other day where they're putting baking soda on flour to make it look like it has a little more THC on it. And like, you know, just gotta be careful. If you're gonna buy something from not a store, just know who you're buying it from. Be careful. Health is first, you know, especially with COVID. You know, you don't want to get sick and think you got COVID or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, no, 100%. How's the business going with COVID? I mean, obviously it's been spiking because alcohol and cannabis sales have been up, but I'm sure different types of protocols in the business itself has changed a lot.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that the only thing that really changed for us is the amount of customer service we can give someone. You know, I like someone coming in and smelling the flower tables and just like answering all the questions people want to ask, but we have to keep things a little more shorter experience in the store, but otherwise, traffic and volume wise, we've been blessed to still remain busy and haven't really missed a beat. But I think that what I'm missing more is the customer interaction that we do at a retail. That kind of trained all our employees to kind of provide a certain retail experience, and it's hard to provide that with COVID. It got to be a little less personal. So that's the only thing I feel like changed for us.
Yeah, that shows a lot about your character and like how you've never really differentiated from the whole customer service, the whole quality of the product. Like no matter what, most business owners would be like, oh yeah, our business has tripled since then, and that's all they care about. But then you just said, hey, you know what? Our customer interaction is we can't have as much interaction as normal. So that just shows a lot about your character and where your mindset is, with the cannabis industry. And that's why I think with the legalization of everything, with the cookie brand and everything, keeping that whole customer service based and the medicinal part of it down. I mean, I give you kudos for that, man.
Yeah, I was brought up that way. Like the dispensary I was start off at and ended up working my way up the ranks. Like she really took pride in training us and taking us out to Amsterdam and to seeing the way that coffee shops are ran. And hospitality is everything. I hate when I go to a restaurant and ask them like, yeah, what do you like? What's good? Everything's good. That's not that's not the vibe. I like when someone says, I personally really like the Chipotle chicken spinach wrap, but if you're in the mood for like a steak, this would be good. But I recommend I like when people tell me, because then it kind of makes your mind thinking like this person actually cares about their job. I hate when I go somewhere and I'm like, yo, what do you like on the menu? I don't know. It depends on what you like. Yeah, you're not getting good tips. So
yeah.
I make sure that we treat, our bud tenders to have the same kind of mentality too,
Yeah, and that's very well said, especially because this show is on NBC radio, and you would have never thought that cannabis shows would be on FM frequencies, right? But now they're starting to pop up, and because of that, you're getting a lot like new people that are curious about the cannabis space, or maybe just even for medicinal use, especially because of a huge pandemic we've had with painkillers, like with athletes or people that have had unfortunately accidents. So now they're looking at medicinal use of cannabis. So they're learning, right? So imagine if they're going into dispensary and they're looking at the menu and they're like, well, I don't know much about cannabis. I need this for these joint pains. And the person's like, that one. It's like, it's like they might need a little bit more assistance or help.
Yeah, especially in the CBD game since the hemp farm bill passed, 2 years ago. Have you guys seen a spike since the legalization became all 50 states? Have you guys seen an increase in sales in your dispensaries?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen an increase. We have a lot of people show up to Melrose, our store in Melrose, with their suitcases fresh out of the airport, and it's crazy. And then going to states like Texas, where I would just hate to get caught smoking weed, and seeing people buying hemp out of a CBD store, and the gray areas around that. Like, hey, if you go pulled over and you're smoking a joint, you could just say it's hemp. And if you have hemp packaging, then they don't have the capabilities to test on site. And so it's just weird seeing everything. I think they just need to hurry up and do proper taxes on cannabis and allow banking and get it federally legalized ASAP. They're just kind of playing with a lot of people's livelihood. And no matter if it's legal or not, we still look at it like it's a medicine, and that's the way we like to treat it. It is medicinal, it helps. It's always going to be a medicine in my mind, but people want it. I think people all over the world want it. And I think the ones kind of like going through the biggest hurdle is like us, operators, of the stores and whatnot, not being able to bank and having to pay ridiculous taxes. It doesn't make any sense at all.
And it does help people so much with their lives. Like we've had Tito Ortiz on, Ricky Williams, and they've said it's 100% has helped them because as professional athletes, they're always just given these prescriptions of pain medications to the point where they were just so sick from it. And then they just started using it, cannabis medicinally, and they saw the inflammation go down, the joint pain, the headaches. And I can't imagine, you going to jail for stuff like this. I saw an interview on the Breakfast Club that you did over in the East Coast where you were talking about like the system that with the jails where inmates can get like equity if they were to partner with the dispensary. What is that about? I'm kind of curious on that.
Social equity allows people that have been in trouble for any kind of drug-related crimes or marijuana-related crimes, and or someone that's been brought up in a neighborhood that's been affected by the drug war to participate in the marijuana business. So if you qualify for a social equity program, then certain dispensaries are required to open up in certain areas to partner with someone. And I was preaching that way before I had the chance to actually execute something like that. And we were the first to open up a social equity dispensary in San Francisco with my partner Sean Richards, and he's the first Black-owned dispensary, social equity dispensary, NSF, and he's majority owner. He runs the store day to day, and I'm teaching it. I taught him. Now he's running it. I taught him the business inside and out. Instead of just saying, "Hey, let me give you a little bit of money. Use your right to open a store in the city," we taught him the business, and that's game and knowledge that he got from me. It took me 18 years to get that knowledge that he can share with his friends and associates, and furthermore go open up other stores. And so I like it because it gives people that deserve to be in the game a chance to be in the game. A lot of other people are trying to use it as a way to just pay people off to get the license. We chose to do it differently. We want to bring people in. A couple of brands on underneath Cookies that are our partners under the Cookies umbrella, I should say, our social equity applicants as well. They were given the right to cultivate cannabis in Oakland, California, and we took that brand and brought it nationwide and expanded their business. So I'm into working with people and helping people, and that's why I'm really in the business, is because weed brings people together, and it always has and always will. Like I said, I'm out here in Montana in the middle of nowhere working on Cookies, Missoula, Cookies Bozeman, and I'm having conversations with people that I would have been scared to talk to with back home. People I see that just are not my demographic that are bonding with me over the fact they know I'm in the business. So it's cool. It unites people of all different ages and races, and that's why I keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very well said. Yeah, and it's so great that you're giving these people the opportunity. It's such an unfortunate thing to be locked up for, right? For a plant that can really help you and heal you in so many ways. Also, I really love the fact that you are an amazing recording artist. Let's talk about how you started into the rap game.
Yeah, I was going to continuation school in Arizona when I was little. With my mom out there, we moved out there for a little bit. And this guy manipulated me to freestyle. I was like, "Yo, you look like you should be a rapper, rap something." And I just said anything. I don't remember what it was. And he was like, "Yo, you should buy this equipment off me. You could be dope." And he convinced me to buy this equipment. It was like $250, $300. I bought it. It was like a karaoke machine. And the next day he was bragging to everyone how he went and bought himself an 8-track, and which pretty much upgraded his recording system. And so from there I was like, well, I got it. And I just kind of practiced in Arizona. I'd go in my garage at like 110. I would just go freestyle in my garage for a little bit and listen back to it. Me and my boys would listen to it, like, "Oh, it's tight. And from there, just, being a fan of music, started playing with it. And been doing it for, I think, 14 years now professionally. And I'm still learning as an artist, but people seem to enjoy it. And I've sold out shows nationwide and, venues, big venues in my hometown, and I have fun with it. It's a hobby. It's therapy for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love that your music too reflects on how you grew up and how I feel like it can definitely, others can relate to it as well. And you've worked with some great artists. I mean, you've worked with Be Real. Be Real's hosted on the show a few times. And also you're signed right now with Wes Khalifa's brand, Taylor Gang Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, there's so many people that work so hard for this, but it's like you have the mindset of an entrepreneur and you have the talent. So the perfect duo, right? So you're able to keep going and proceed and accomplish your dreams.
Yeah, I think the same with the cannabis. I have the passion to keep wanting to do it. It's fun to me. It's a hobby. And the way I've done it, I'm not trying to work with who's the hottest artist right now. Mm-hmm. I work with people I grew up listening to and I looked up to and still look up to. And that way you check off that life goal box, doing music with DMX. I mean, for this new album, that's life goal to me. I grew up on DMX and working with Twista and working with Do or Die and working with, Styles P, Jadakiss, Cameron, the people I grew up listening to. When I used to be like, dang, I wish I could rap with them, working with them, Bone Thugs, Be Real, Snoop. That's life goal. I can go to bed when it's time for me to leave this earth happy. I did things I wanted to do when I was a kid. I executed it. So, I'm still passionate about it. That's why I still do it.
Yeah. How many albums do you have now? Because I know like that's one of your passions, just like putting out music. How many albums do you have now?
Like 37, 38, I think.
Yeah, see, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I remember I was watching an interview, and because you're from Northern California, so there's guys like Too Short, E40. I mean, all those guys you looked up to be able to do music with those guys, and then especially with how you are in the cannabis game with the rap game. I mean, all that just goes intertwined, man. And I've heard a lot of stuff, man. I really dig it.
Right on, man. Yeah, it was the perfect gumbo: the internet, music, and weed. It worked out great.
And what's so interesting about the internet, B Reels even brought this up on the Dr. Green Thumb podcast, is that now with the internet, right, like as a musician, you have so much more control of like branding your content and getting it out there. Like marketing is, because of YouTube or Instagram and Facebook, has changed the game. Well, with cannabis, it's a little different with social media, but with YouTube, there's so many things you can do with your music. And in the past, I mean, it was just so different. That was like, you had to maybe hire a publicist, get some PR team, but now you could go viral, right? If you have the right beats, the right music.
Yeah, people are popping off SoundCloud and
TikTok
and just one record. Yeah, TikTok. Shout out to everyone that's figured out a way to make it pop.
What advice do you give people? Because you're so young, you've already accomplished so much. I'm sure there's people that want to follow up in your footsteps, but it's hard. Life is so unpredictable too. I mean, look what's happening with COVID. What advice do you give people?
And passion is everything. If you're passionate about it and follow your dreams, like if you invest your own money and you invest your time into something, there's no way you can fail. Like if you keep trying, something will work out. And you have to be passionate. You have to put your own time, your own money, your own energy. And once you invest all that, there's no turning back. If you expect like a hand, yeah.
Oh, no. What about also the advice because we all know, especially yourself as well, how hard it is to get into the cannabis industry legally. For somebody starting out that probably has the money to do it and everything, what steps would you advice would you give them to say, hey, this is where you need to start out to start in the right direction?
First thing is know what you're doing it for. Like, what are you doing it for? Are you doing it because you want to do it? Are you doing it because you're trying to make some money? Are you doing it because, you have a great strain you develop? I mean, know what your purpose is. And once you know that, you can know how to approach it. I'm doing this because I want to connect people. And I feel like we have really incredible flavors that from my neighborhood where I grew up that we're putting it all around the world. That's my goal. Johnny Appleseed vibe. Like, hey, this is what we're smoking. We want to put it all around the world so people can enjoy it. With that comes, success of growing a business. But knowing what I'm doing got me where I'm at. It's hard to get in the cannabis business. It's a long-term play. You're going to have your bank shut down. You're not going to be able to make as much money as people. People think there's a lot of money. There's not a lot of money in the cannabis business. So I see a lot of friends, artists, athletes, just homies trying to get in the game. And I always ask them, like, why do you want to do it? And, if you're doing it for money, it might not be the smartest thing. Yeah. It's like when someone trying to enter the .com industry or business, when that was going on, it might be a little late. But if you're doing it for passion and because you have something cool you want to share, you might succeed. You might be able to get it cracking. And it might not be too late. So that's my advice. Just know what you're doing it for, and from there, decide how you want to enter.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
And before we end the show, I had a few questions about you have such a great business mindset. And a lot of times people are like, okay, I want to be a rapper, or I want to be in the cannabis space or in the clothing space, because you have cookies, right? There's a great clothing brand that's killing it right now. But people also have to understand, do your homework on how to be a proper businessman, businesswoman. Know what to invest, know what not to invest in. Nowadays, people might throw away their money on crazy things. Or when they get a lot of money, they buy crazy things, I've seen you do interviews in the past where you tell people, like, be smart with your money.
Yeah, you got to be smart with your money. You got to invest in yourself, and you have to have you got to be cool. If you're not cool, it'll spread up real quick. Like if you just come off cocky and arrogant and if it's not a pleasure to work with you, then I don't really know how things will work out. Mm-hmm. The world is crazy, and people have a choice whether they want to work with you and help you or they don't. And I feel like if you come in humble and you're cool and you're easy to work with and you keep open ear and you're not so pushy, then it might be easier to navigate some of your things. I didn't know anything about clothing. I didn't know anything about music except that I liked both. And I learned the hard way in a lot of things, but I kept working and I kept my relationships open, my Rolodex open. Everyone I met, I kept their phone number. I remember this person does cut and sew in China. This person here owns a printing factory. Mm-hmm. This person has some really cool shoelaces I could turn into strings for my sweaters. I kept everyone's number, built a relationship through the years, and when it was time to get things going, they had enough respect and to want to help me out. You know what I mean? So just kind of like keep a humble approach and keep that passion and just dive in head first and be smart when you do things. You know, don't blow it all in one load. Just kind of figure it out. You know, start off small and then build from there.
Mm-hmm. You know, most definitely.
What are you smoking on right now these days?
Man, I just smoked a really big joint of sweet tea before we did the call. It's a London pound cake, Cushman 11 cross. And it's nice. It's really tasty. It's mellow. I don't know if you can hear it because I got the headphones on, but the birds in the background, it's a vibe right now. I like that sweet tea. It's nice.
Nice.
And do you create all the names? Like, who's the person that's like, okay, we'll name it this, or well, maybe not, we'll change it up?
Yeah, so I preached before in the past, like I'm hands-on with everything. So if you see something on the shelf, everything ran through me, from the strains that we pick, that we want to put in production, to the names, to the strain artwork, everything. I name everything personally. And then I kind of give guidance on the strain artwork. So like, you know, if we have like the cheetah piss, for instance, like I didn't want to do what everyone imagined, like a cheetah going pee. I got my boy to make it out the currency and do something cool. So that's one of my strongholds is branding, marketing, and design. So I just work with a handful, maybe 20 designers, and everything from the clothing to the strain illustration that runs through me. I'm a busy guy, so that's my favorite part of everything is once we find what we want to produce, naming it is the best. You know, just smoking it with your boys and like, that tastes like this, and then you just kind of come with that name and get it cracking. So yeah, naming it and designing it, that runs through me for sure.
Nice. Well, thank you so very much, Berner. It was an honor for having you on the show. Green Talk by Green Care Solutions here on NBC Radio and also on iHeart, iTunes, YouTube, and the whole shebang when it comes to the podcasting. So thank you so much. Enjoy your vacation in Montana. Everybody that's watching and listening, if you're not already following Berner, give him a follow. His social media handles are right here at the bottom. His website as well. Check out his locations of his dispensaries if you're in California. And also, Brian, give out the shout outs for Green Care.
Yeah, give us a follow on our Instagram at Green Care Solutions 420. We got Green Talk News 420 as well. And then any other things you want to announce to everybody as far as, you know, I know there's no concerts or anything coming up or anything like that, but anything else you want to announce?
You
new
have
strains?
An album with Be Real, though, right? That just came out.
Yeah, Los Meadows came out. I'm working on a new solo album called Russ Buffalino, The Quiet Dawn. It's going to be tight. It's got some dope features on it. I got a record with Damian Marley and Stephen Marley. We recorded in Jamaica at Tough Gone, which was Marley's studio. I got DMX on the album.
Wow.
It's legendary. It's really good. So that will be coming out probably like August, September.
Nice. Well, congratulations on that. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Berner. Enjoy your vacation. Everyone, this is Green Talk by Green Care Solutions. I'm Yanitza Munoz.
And I'm Brian Gonzalez with Green Care Solutions.
Till next time, everyone. Bye-bye.